first page I'm going to walk you through. It's in the same notebook where I've got notes from my play date, my Skype play date with my client. And you're going to see tons of like notes and things just as they started to come through and I started to flush them out. So here was the very first thing that came to me. And it was the idea of this like swaddled seedling, and petals, flower petals came through. And then you can see kind of how I progressed and I started incorporating the flower petals and the flower petals. And then there was this concept that came through. So here with these petals, where it's like an opening flower, and if you kind of look at it, the springtime wind is catching my page. It's like these are outstretched arms with a tilted back head and legs. So it's like a person standing and opening their heart center and beaming out, which could also be interpreted as sunshine. You know, the sun rising, sun rising. So it's like a sunrise, a person's head tilted back, opening up in, you know, a yoga back bend with the arms open, the heart center open, and the strong foundation. And then also this has the idea of being a flower with open petals and two petals perhaps, which could be connected or not, but peeling off, you know, to spread that energy and magic through the world. So the idea also came, you know, once I progressed from the open flower, becoming a person doing a back bend and opening the heart center and sunrise. It also has the phases of the moon. So, you know, with the moon phase, the wholeness, and then progressing through the entire spectrum, through the journey, because the journey is what it's all about. And there's a journey of yoga, there's a journey of healing, there's a journey of getting back to wellness. And so this kind of encompasses the whole spectrum with growth, with, you know, opening and rising and etc. So, and then I played around a little bit more thinking, well, that could almost be the infinity symbol in the center there, the outstretched arms. So that's another symbol that can kind of be incorporated. And then I moved, so you'll see I was playing around with this a little bit more. And then the idea of that goddess, the earth goddess statue came through. And so I was playing around a little bit, you know, a little bit more with the idea of the antlers and the earth goddess, the idea of roots on a tree and branches becoming arms and reaching and kind of being that centered source of power. And then that just felt a little too cliche to me. I don't know why. But then I progressed back to the front page, so I do end up flipping the pages. So that I started playing around with that shape of, you know, okay, we've got the goddess and the sacral center and the petals, which almost are like fairy wings, which bring in the elemental realm, and then keeping the journey of the moon almost as if the arms are the full moon, so like she's holding the full moon, the fullness of her. And then I started simplifying it a little, so then I made those a little more obviously wings / you know, leaves, I guess. Multiple symbolisms there. And I simplified it a little bit more, and then that almost felt like that was too simple, and it looked a little bit too much like a bee to me, and so then I progressed to the next And sketchbook. So here we have this page on this other sketchbook spread. You can see I multitask when I'm doing my sketchbooks. So I've got coloring book illustrations and concepts in here as well. It's just whenever I'm inspired, I grab what I've got nearby. So there is no official rigid process. It's all very fluid and flowy. So you can see I was playing around a little bit more with, well, what if that was a ring instead of, you know, obvious arms, and the journey continued. And then I kind of came to these, which feel cool. They feel a little more abstracted. And then I thought of the idea of incorporating a heart into that central spiral. So we still have, you know, the idea of the arms and or, you know, a glowing that's coming from this wellness and the full moon, right? And then the moon journey is progressing around. So then it's almost like a heart centered. And then we still have, you know, the infinity symbol and the petals opening. And then perhaps some kind of disc to encompass it all, you know, behind. And so you can see I was playing around here with maybe the little, moon and spiral heart shapes that could be bordering the yoga and wellness. The text really comes in the next stage when we start digitizing, but sometimes I do play around with arrangements a little bit. And then here you can see I came back to this more simplified single line form with the petals, which almost makes it like a dancer, so it's almost like a dance, and that moon journey, and then irradiating, and the same thing down here. So from all of these, I think this concept feels very strong. However, there's also the strength in, the goddess and the more overt heart center. So from here, my client and I begin to have a conversation, and then I will move on to the digitizing phase and start to more formally polish one of these concepts, and sometimes even two if they are related, so that we get a more focused look at what this mark is wanting to be. Interestingly enough, the wind has just died down, so there must have been something about that arise energy that caused the wind to rise and play with us while we were going through the concepts. So when we move on to the digitizing phase, it becomes an even more in-depth conversation, and we keep going until we have reached our final mark. And from there, my clients have a beautiful mark that encompasses on many levels, including visually, energetically, encompassing the soul potential of my client's business, that can then become a magical beacon to invite in those who are ready to receive this kind of magic. I'll see you next time.